Hello, my name is Alex Isles and welcome to St Aidan's Church in Bamburgh. I'm right here with Jessica right now and who is the project manager of the Bamburgh Bones, and we're going to be talking about the Bamburgh Bones project, which is a research project taking and bringing alive the Anglo-Saxon history of Northumbria. Now, for those who don't know, Northumbria was a kingdom that was created in the 6th and 7th century AD by Anglo-Saxon warlords who came in from the continent, with a famous leader being a man called Aiden, who is semi-mythological, comes across here with 3 longships, and he conquers the territory which will become Lindisfarne and Bamburgh today. And then from there, his descendants spread the kingdom so that it would contain parts of around Edinburgh, southern Scotland, the current day Northumberland, County Durham and Yorkshire, and subjugated kingdoms across the rest of Britain. So it's a very interesting early Middle Ages or Dark Age kingdom right up here in northern England and in Britain. So Jessica, just to ask, when we talk about the Bamburgh Bones project, what is the Bamburgh Bones project?
Bamburgh Bones project is sort of interpretation related to the amazing Anglo-Saxon heritage of Bamburgh. It came about from a small community group of volunteers called Bamburgh Heritage Trust, who like to do some interpretation of the Anglo-Saxon heritage. Bamburgh has a rich heritage offer with the Grace Darling Museum and the castle, but actually the Anglo-Saxon story wasn't really being told here. So this is what their ambition was just to start looking for a place to interpret it. So the vicar at the time was on Bamburgh Heritage Trust, and he suggested the crypt might be a good space to use. The crypt had been closed to the public for 30 years because of difficulty with the access. So Bamburgh Heritage Trust came to the crypt, had a look around it, and actually decided it was an incredible space. And the last thing we wanted to do was put interpretation boards around it. So we were sort of looking at it, but at the time we were having this discussion, we were also talking to the Bamburgh Castle Estates, about what they were going to do with the bowl hole burials. Now, those were skeletons that were excavated from an area to the south of the castle between 1999 and 2007, and the exhumation licence from the Home Office stipulated that the bodies should be reburied after research was complete. So by 2007, research was complete. They were just in a cupboard, basically, in the castle, so something needed to be done, and this was in 2016 that we sort of got together and started to do this. Because we know so much about these people, we've done so much research on them. They are a really, really special group of people, and actually they deserve something really special in their treatment, their final resting place. So we created the Bamburgh Ossuary for them, which is the small second crypt here, which is a small doorway to my left. And we basically took every single skeleton, put them into a charnel box, or an ossuary, depending on what you want to call them, and they're now stored behind a beautiful commissioned grille, so this is their final resting place.
Fantastic, and I'll just quickly show that off to people who are watching. So just inside there, that's the final resting place of the Anglo-Saxon community who lived in and around Bamburgh during the 6th, 7th and 8th centuries. Now, when we're looking at this community, we actually know quite a bit about them now because of modern science. And archaeology is a very young science, and it's always developing. New things are coming out. We're better understanding how to interpret the past through the science that we have today. And one of the things that's been really important to the Bamburgh Research Project, as I understand it, is the fact that we now have much better understanding of isotopes. And would you be able to tell us a little bit about isotopes and also how that fits in with the Bamburgh Bones project?
Well, it's interesting what you were saying there about being a new science. Actually, interpretation is always changing. And the bowl hole site was known about, but it was marked on the first edition OS map as an old Danish burying ground, so people thought it was Vikings. So actually, when Bamburgh Research Project came along and excavated and found these east-west aligned cemetery site with burials with no grave goods, they knew it was Christian. So that sort of moves on interpretation even in that way. But when they came along, Bamburgh Research Project, they worked with Durham University to excavate the site over quite a long period of time, and they did the isotope analysis. So the isotopes basically is the enamel in your teeth holds a mineral trace of the environment in which those teeth grew. So that means you get to know where somebody actually comes from, where they grew up, where they lived, where they spent their life. So that's an amazing to be able to pinpoint exactly where somebody's from.
Fantastic. And those isotopes produced an amazing map of the population as they came here from all over the world.
Yeah, so that's the amazing thing. Less than 10% of the skeletons excavated come from the immediate Bamburgh area. The rest are from much further afield, so from the rest of Britain, particularly Ireland and the Scottish Islands and Highlands. But then we've also got people from continental Europe, from Scandinavia, from possibly Italy and Spain. We've got some that are even possibly further afield. We have one skeleton of a small child, about 10 years of age. Anybody who's got a 10-year-old child at home will know that that mouth is erupting with teeth. So with this skeleton, we had 2 hits on the isotope. So we could analyse the baby teeth, which form as a fetus in the uterus. So that actually tells us where the mother came from. And then the adult teeth, which form in early childhood. So with this skeleton, the baby teeth suggest that the mother was somewhere incredibly hot, somewhere like southern Spain, possibly North Africa. And then the baby teeth, she was still somewhere quite warm, probably like the south of France. So in this one individual, in the space of 10 years, she has migrated across possibly 2 continents to end up in Bamburgh.
Wow. And it's amazing just to see those journeys, because looking at the information that's actually on the Bamburgh Bones website, you've got people, as you say, from all over the British Isles, but you also have people from Scandinavia, specifically more like Norway, they think. Also, you've got people from modern-day Turkey, and you've got people from all over Western Europe, and they're being drawn here to this capital city of this amazing kingdom of Northumbria, which would at the time have just converted to Christianity under the new, very sort of energetic King Oswald and his dear friend St Aiden, who is an Irish missionary. What's your sort of view on St Oswald and St Aiden?
Well, it's all linked, because we've done radiocarbon dates on the cemetery as well, so we know the cemetery dates from 650 to about 800. So it's a really early Anglo-Saxon, early medieval cemetery. So incredibly important from an archaeological point of view. But then you link in that story that we know about Aiden and Oswald. We know that Oswald returns to Northumbria, uniting the kingdoms to create the kingdom of Northumbria in 634. And then we know he calls to Iona for help to convert the pagan Northumbrians to Christianity, and that's when Aiden comes. And Aiden comes to Bamburgh in 635 and founds his first church on this very site. So we've got that amazing story, and then we can link that to an archaeological amazing story and make an amazing connection. So something, when you look at, say, Northern Saints, is quite ephemeral. You know, we think about saint stories and so long ago, 1,400 years ago. Actually, these people are Aiden's congregation. They heard him preach. So it's so appropriate then that they are here in the crypt of St Aiden's now. There's one skeleton in there that we know was about 50 years of age when he died. He dates to around 650, and his isotope suggests he comes from the Iona sort of region. So this is a direct contemporary. So we can say, actually, we can make real links, real proper links to something that you might regard as a myth, as a saint. It's quite abstract, but no, this is something that knew them and talked to them.
So that could have been one of the Irish monks who joined Aiden and then joined him on his missionary journey to Northumbria?
The dates are absolutely spot on for that. He is a direct contemporary in terms of age and environment of both Oswald and Aiden, because obviously Oswald was exiled to Iona at about the age of 13, when this boy would have been 13 too. So
wow.
They are contemporary.
So you possibly have like a monk or even someone who's in Oswald's own war band as he comes back to take the kingdom. That's an amazing little vision, and so easy to look at and to create all these wonderful dreams, sort of like of that Dark Age period and that amazing refounding and creating of a new English kingdom up here in the northeast, and that gets me excited and grinning from ear to ear. Right here as well, we've also got one of the ossuaries, one of the charnel boxes. Would you be able to tell us a little bit about that as well? Because even though I showed the viewers the boxes just a moment ago, they may not understand how these boxes actually work, because it's a bit of an odd thing for many of us today.
Yeah, I could get into the whole history of ossuaries,
yes.
But we haven't got time today. But it is something you encounter in continental Europe, and many European countries and South American countries still practice charnel, as we would call it. So that is basically, it's actually a really, really sensible way to deal with overcrowding in cemeteries. So some places you rent the burial space, but at the end of 30 years, you then move the remains of your ancestor into a charnel box, because it is a much more compact way of storing the deceased. So I will reiterate that this is a fake skeleton.
Yes, it's a plastic skeleton, isn't it?
This is just purely demonstrate sort of how we end up as quite small. So a charnel box, obviously, as you'd appreciate, we can't buy them in this country. Had to get them from Italy. It's a big charnel box. And basically it needs to be big enough to take the femur, the length of the femur, and the bulk of the skull. And that basically everything else just fits in around it. So I'll take this slide a little for you. And as you can see, it's sort of pretty compact.
Wow. So every one of the people who was excavated from the Bowlhole Cemetery has one of their own individual boxes, and then they're gently laid to rest in a really respectful, really kind way, connecting them back to obviously the Anglo-Saxon and Dark Age community that they were a part of back then, and then is laid to rest inside of here. And yeah, that's really special.
I mean, it's a really special place. The crypt itself is beautiful. This is a 12th, 13th century chancel. This is integral to that. So it's wonderful just to come into this space and then to have created something really special that everybody can see and visit. It's a lovely thing to be able to do.
Fantastic. And how would be the best way of supporting the Bamburgh Bones project going forwards?
Well, there's many ways, as you'd imagine. But please visit the website, so bamburghbones.org, and there you can look at the digital ossuary. So as well as the physical ossuary we've created here, there's a digital ossuary where you can look at the evidence for every single skeleton. And they have code names and Anglo-Saxon words, so it's really interesting, and you get to look at skeletons in situ and the maps and all that sort of stuff. But also we're looking for supporters basically to adopt a box, and that would really help us going forward, because obviously we need to sustain the building and the equipment. So if anybody would like to do that, they can, and then they can also look at our shop.
Yeah, well, I personally will be adopting one of the boxes just to help this project, and basically putting all the information in the description below. But I really hope our viewers today have really enjoyed learning about the Kingdom of Northumbria, these individuals who lived and breathed while the very history that we read in these amazing textbooks was formed. And that if you get a chance to visit Bamburgh, you'll have a look at this area as well, and just have a think about what the Kingdom of Northumbria would have been like at that period. As always, I ask you to like and subscribe, and please share this video with your friends so that we can continue telling people about the amazing history that the British Isles has. Until then, stay safe and well, and thank you very much for watching.